So, welcome back to a little update video today, a normal one. Today we will make a tiny update on AMC just because of the price action today. I will first time go into the lion's cave. I will show Tesla tracking. We will make an update on Unity software because of earnings tomorrow. I will correct a little mistake in BYND and will update it. We will do a little update on SAVA because of the price action today, and also first look on SOFI. If you're interested, just stay tuned. So, as always, I'm using the Fractal Method. I will link the explanation video at the end of the video, or you just search for the Fractal playlist on my channel. Okay, well, then start with AMC. So, today again, just a tiny update video because there wasn't really much today. For the whole story, 1 part squeeze, 2 part squeeze, price targets, and I will link the full story video at the end. Well, then let's zoom in. So, the problem right now with AMC is, in the video yesterday, I said it would be perfect if we're holding this level. In my opinion, AMC already showed us today, I would say 90% we won't hold this level. Yeah. I really think we will fall into Friday. Why? Just because of these two things here. These two things. We are not doing double bottom. Not for the real V. Yeah. I mean, I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, fine, perfect. Then we should start from tomorrow on with our higher low. Yeah. So what I would mean with this small thing, and then the big thing, the big higher low, and then the A and the A pullback. Yeah. I already said in the big update video, we maybe don't need this and can just jump this, but we need the higher low. Yeah. Of course, there's the opinion we don't need the higher low and we squeeze from the V. I already showed in the last videos, on quite every video, we never done this. Never. On not one single squeeze on AMC, we just squeeze from the V. I mean, that's my tracking. You can have a different one, of course. Yeah? But the thing is, right now, this double button, I mean, I could even say, yeah, this little double button is the same shit like we did here. Yeah, January 2026. Yeah. Let's see what happens. I think we already see tomorrow that we will break it. I could be wrong. I would love to be wrong, because if this was the V today, perfect, it will take shorter time. If we fall into Friday, you know me, in my opinion, then there's 0 chance for next week if we just find the V on Friday. Yeah. But let's see. For GME, nothing has changed. It still looks perfect. I still look for upside. Okay. Then let's jump into BYND. So for BYND, we will just make a tiny summary for what happened. Yeah. So BYND started its run to its all-time high, to its C. Then at the time AMC and GME squeezed, it already made its lower high. Then midpoint, our midpoint is the line where our next big B is, something over it. Then we fell under our T line, our last time to sell. The T is our T line, our next target where our A should be. So something over 15. I would say it will be something between $15 and $20. And then we fell to our absolute low, which was on October 22. And since then, we're just making this big fucking high low. Yeah? And that is now our main tracking. So let's, before we zoom in, yeah, whenever this is finished, and it looks good that it could be finished in a very short future, and we're repeating what we did in the higher low phase, our next run to A should be pretty vertical. And then if we're doing the same like our higher low pullback, the A pullback, yeah, which will be, if this is our V, a 0.5 pullback. So let's say we're going to 20. Yeah. Then the 0.5 pullback for our A, or the 1.618 pullback, would be between $3 and $2. Yeah. And if we're doing the same shit like we did here, this could take 1 to 3 months. Yeah. Doesn't have to, but the thing is, we have no thing we could say this is repeating, because we never saw A or B. Yeah. So this would be the first time we see a pullback. So yeah. Okay, so let's zoom in. So this whole thing is just our higher low. Yeah? And this whole thing is just our big T. Yeah? And then we go into micro tracking and tracking this fall. Yeah? So technically, for the bigger tracking, our T is absolutely finished, perfect, because our T started here on November 21st, went lower where it started, V, perfect. Yeah? In that case, we are right now already bounced off the V. Yeah? We also filled this gap. Yeah? There are no gaps left. Perfect. We're still waiting for the higher low. Yeah? So in the most bullish case, means in the most fastest case, this today, yeah, was our top of our higher low. So to where we will have to fall? Well, we have to go 67 cents-ish, yeah, under the 7.86. Yeah. In the best case, we're doing this till Friday. Yeah, would be absolutely perfect, because that would mean we have a good chance next week is go-go time. Yeah. So till Friday would be here, 13th of February. Higher low would be finished, and we go. Yeah. So to the thing with the, I made a little tracking mistake. Because in my opinion, I oversaw an old. Yeah. Always have an old. So for the old, our M, for the normal tracking, our midpoint is here. This is our T. We are finished, ready to go. As I said, we still have to do the high low, and that's it. For the alternative would be, I'm not thinking that, but for the alternative would be that this is our M. And our T would be this, the big one. Yeah. In that case, we will break 64 cents and we'll make a lower low, just to have an alternative. Yeah. I can't see that yet because it's tracking perfectly, but the shitty part about this would be, if we are doing that, that we are right now in this candle, most likely. This would be our T, and we still would have fall. Yeah, it doesn't even look like that, but as always, have an old. So if this higher low isn't holding and we break under 64 again, well, then we have to talk about this old. Right now, this thing looks absolutely perfect. In the best case, we're finishing the higher low till Friday, and then we can start with this shit up to our A, to $15. Okay, next one is Unity. So for Unity, just a little update, because I think tomorrow are earnings. Just for the little summary, Unity started its run to its B. in the IPO, then all-time high, lower high, midpoint. Our midpoint is our next target. Yeah? So something over the M line, which is 109. Then we fell to our last time to sell, which is was perfectly our A. Then we fall to our V, August 2024. We did a perfect high low. We ran to our A, and we did a perfect 0.5 FIB retracement or a 0.618 FIB pullback. Question is this pullback finished? I mean, in my opinion, yeah, it is. The only thing is, we didn't do a higher low yet. Yeah. So tomorrow is earnings. Yeah. In my tracking and my idea would be this earnings, whatever it is, will be our pullback. Yeah. So we still have, if this is the top of our higher low, have to come down to 23.8. And you know, I mean, there's this common talking, if you're running into earnings, there's a good chance that earnings will be red. Yeah. So if you're still going up tomorrow before earnings, I would really see something like that. Yeah. I mean, that would be what? 17% drop. Yeah. So maybe. Yeah. And if this higher low is finished, well, our next target is 109. One thing, why ever, if we see tomorrow suddenly a 17% drop during market hours, I think it's when is the earnings? Nah, forget it. The earnings are in the morning. Okay, so let's see what happens. Yeah, in the best case, I still see a drop. Yeah, if we're doing nothing because of earnings, I still want to see this higher low. Yeah, for levels to the upside, if we don't need the higher low, why ever? Yeah. In my opinion, if you go over 31.62, and especially if you go over $38, then the pullback is finished. Yeah. Then okay, here's an example where we don't need a higher low. Yeah. But if we go that high, we will go to our B. Yeah. And then when we got to our B, yeah, because we already saw the first run to our B, half of this run. Yeah, this should be pretty quick, as here. The pullback of B will still be a 0.5. So if this low here was our A bottom, and let's say our target is 110 for our B, you will pull back to $50-ish. Yeah, and in my opinion, this pullback will take some time. Yeah? After that, the only question is, are you breaking all-time highs or not? Okay, next one is SAVA. Also, because of the price action today, just little summary. Why are we even looking at this shit stock? Because it's a bio company. We are looking at this stock because it's always doing the same. It gets a peak, gap down, bullshit, gap up. Peak, gap down, bullshit, gap fill. Peak, gap down, bullshit, gap fill. Peak, gap down, bullshit, gap fill, and so on. Yeah. So for our latest fractal right now, which is the biggest one, we have a nice ABC, lower midpoint T, which is our peak, gap down, and I'm talking about this gap from $26 to $4 to $5. And since then, you could say we're doing bullshit. Yeah? For tracking wise, this is just higher low. So we have three alternatives here. The first one is the absolute bearish one. Means this isn't higher low. This was just a little bounce. You will break downside. You will make a new all-time low. It would be this landmark here. Yeah, you would be somewhere in here. You will massively knife down. You will make a new all-time low. And this section here will take you till June, July, October. This will take time if we do that. But then I'm still convinced we're doing the gap fill. But it would be unplayable for months. Yeah? For the two bullish versions, yeah, we zoom in. And that would mean that this here is our low in April 2025. This is a perfect higher low. For this perfect higher low, there are two versions. The most bullish version means here's our A, here's our B. Yeah? Means this is not a 786 fib. Yeah? Because for the 768 fib, this would be the bearish R2, which I will come in a second, would be this. But this is perfectly working for A, and this is working perfectly for a B. And the higher low only needs a V under A, which we already did. So, in the best bullish way, we are doing, this was our V already, yeah, last Thursday, Friday, where a lot of stocks got their low and bounced. And right now we're doing the higher low. Yeah. So in the best possible way, because this company only, you can look it back up, jumps Friday pre-market, Friday after hours, Monday pre-market. Yeah. It runs further after that, but the big move start is always on these days. So I'm not expecting suddenly a jump tomorrow, because today is just Tuesday. So as for the most bullish way, I would still expect that we fall into Friday. Yeah. So something 193, and then Friday or Monday jump would be the most bullish part. For whatever reason, we go up now. If you break here to the upside and you break 233, then in my opinion, the downside is off the table. So that would be the absolute bullish version. The bearish version, not so bearish version, would still be that this isn't our A, then this is our A. Yeah? And then this is just a bounce. Yeah? And we still have to come down here to 1.58, doing a higher low, and then we go. Yeah? If you're not doing the absolute bearish version where we knife to new lows, this would be the second version. Just a little warning. If you want to play options on this thing, I mean, they are absolutely fucking worthless and cheap. And if we're doing this jump, I mean, that is what? That would be a 1000%. With options is that easily a 10,000% move. Yeah. But I tell you, right now, with no move, this options chain is completely dead. If you buy in options, you won't get out without a move. Yeah? Just be careful. Okay. So, next one is Tesla. And please, whatever I'm showing here, yeah, don't kill me. Yeah. I know Tesla fans are different. Okay. For my main tracking, yeah, of course, IPO RV till May 2019 is just our A, and B is from June 19 to January 23. The thing is, if you take from A bottom to B peak, that's not really a 0.5. I will come to that later, but Tesla likes to fob you with its B pullbacks. Because if you take example from this low, which for this little tracking would be the V, higher low, ABC, the A is a 0.5, 0.618. Perfect. But if you take now from the A bottom to the B peak, that's again not a 0.5. Tesla likes that. So I'm still tracking it like that the AB pullback was finished on December 2022. Till then, we are in the run to the big C. Yeah? And if we go into middle and middle tracking, because I'm not micro tracking Tesla, this would be way too much work. But from January 2023 till April 2024, this was just our higher low. From April 2024 till April 2025, this was just our middle A. And here again, perfect 0.5. So we are still in the run to our middle B. Yeah? The middle B, which takes us to the big C and middle C. So if we even go even more into micro tracking, the A pullback was finished on April 2025. We did our little A, and right now, since July 2025 till today, we are doing our small B. And here again, this was a perfect 0.5 pullback for our small A, but this is not a 0.5 pullback. Yeah? And Tesla already fucked me twice in that case, yeah? Because I played this and I thought, okay, this time we go to our 0.5. Tesla said, haha, no. Then we went up. Okay, this is now clearly our B peak. And then I thought, okay, now we go to the 0.5. And again, no. Yeah? Because Tesla just is saying, no, my B pullbacks aren't 0.5s. Yeah? So I think this candle here, yeah, on February 2nd, 2026, was our B pullback. What will happen now? Well, now if we go on lower time frames, this is our V, just the V of the B pullback. We will perform now a higher low, yeah, in my opinion, end of February. And when this higher low is finished, we will start our run to our middle B. Yeah. From where are this bar patterns? Well, to what I compare this to? Well, we have here our V in March 2020 would be the same like this. This whole section here would be this little section here. Then we break out. We break out. This whole thing would be this whole thing. And right now, because this little thing here, what we did on December 2025, went over the last peak. Yeah? So in my opinion, we are right now in here. Yeah? And to be even more exact, zoomed in here, June 25th on 2020, we are doing right now exactly this. This little chunk is this little chunk. Yeah. So in the best case, we're doing now higher low. Yeah. End of February, we're getting boom boom candles. Should be interesting. All in all, this is still micro tracking. For the macro tracking, yeah, even if I made mistakes here, yeah, and we still need to a few more landmarks, I'm still pretty convinced Tesla should go up. And for me, it doesn't matter if the market is crashing now or not. Tesla is always doing its own thing. So let's see. Okay. Last one is SOFI. So for SOFI, I mean, you already see it. My main tracking is bearish. I have an alternative bullish. I will also show that, but I only have it as an alternative because you always should have one. So SOFI started its IPO in the run to its C. Yeah, we maybe saw a little peak of how B could look like. Then it made its big lower high, midpoint T fell down to its all-time low to its V. Then, under the trend line, we made a perfect high low. After that, we made a perfect A. If you take from the absolute low to the A, it was a 0.618 pullback. Then we made a perfect B. If you take it from the A bottom to the B, it wasn't a 0.5, but that's okay. As long as you don't break the 786, that's still okay. And for the bearish tracking in November 2025, this was our C. And for the bearish tracking, we already made our lower high. How would that look like now? So for the absolute bearish version, it would look like this. Yeah. This bars pattern on here. For just tracking rules, this is a C. You have to go under V under A. Would be $589. If we now say this was just an A and this was just an B, yeah, or a higher low and this was just an A, well then we don't have to go to B under A, we just have to do a 0.5 or a 0.618 pullback. Yeah. In that case, you still have to go down to $11 or down to $9. Yeah. The only alternative I have is when we say in any way that this is our B. Yeah. In that case, you would be in this downfall right now. In that case, you still have to fall, but in that case, your bouncing level is $14. Yeah. If you bounce here, okay, then this was your B, and you still make a new all-time low high and make a new C. But for that, you really have to bounce here. If you break through that, you only have two versions: going V under A or bouncing somewhere in here. Yeah. But all in all, I think that the conclusion is it will go down. It doesn't matter if bullish or bearish. In my opinion, it will go down. Okay. I think I showed everything. Okay. As always, if you liked it, leave a like. Don't kill me for Tesla. I mean, it was bullish, right? Explanation video here, playlist here, behind that the video with the full story for AMC. And if you want to see more, you can leave an abo. Let's see what happens tomorrow. See ya.